Alright guys, it is Kieran from Red Devil Weekly and we are live to give my thoughts on Manchester United's 5-2 win over Bournemouth yesterday afternoon. A fantastic win for all Manchester United fans, everyone involved with Manchester United. A pretty well faultless performance apart from the defence, and I'm going to get into that in just a second, but I don't want to focus on any negatives at the start of this video. You've got to start with the positives, and United, even though we're still in 5th, have now got clear water in front of any of the other people behind us, which is brilliant. Wolves, of course, dropping points. Chelsea and Leicester didn't drop any points, but that's by the by in the end of the day. But yeah, Footy Live, how you doing, mate? Thanks for joining. Liam, how you doing, guys? Thanks for joining. Thanks to everyone who's just joined. Footy Live, why don't you get some people on the show? I can do, mate. I can do. I mean, I've got the Discord open, and I think I was expecting. I think someone, I can't remember, said they wanted to come on. They said they're going to do it through Discord. So if they do want to come on, then I've got my Discord. I can give you my Discord, or you can give me your Discord and we can get you on. I also use Skype mainly as well, so I'll definitely be getting more people on the show and doing that sort of thing. So yeah, good suggestion. But United 5-2 win against Bournemouth. It was a big victory in the end, a big victory. Another scintillating attacking performance by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Manchester United. Obviously we went 1-0 down early on in the game through an inexplicable goal, really. It was a brilliant bit of skill by Stanislas to get past Maguire, although he will not want to see that goal again. And then again, as David De Gea, you could argue he really made a poor decision, really, not covering his near post, and he got beaten at his near post from very close range, and he will not want to see that goal again. We went 1-0 down, and at that point, I was a little bit worried. I was thinking maybe Bournemouth are going to scrap it here, maybe they're going to do the job on us, but fortunately for us, unfortunately for them, we came back into the game really strong. Brother Gaming, how you doing? Says, what was the score yesterday? The score was 5-2. Read it on the screen. Liam says, hope Sheffield United drop points, but they have Burnley. To be fair, the Sheffield United results don't matter anymore. I don't see them catching us. I agree, mate. Look, I think as of right now, we're 5 points behind Sheffield United. If they were to lose their game, then we would. I don't see Sheffield catching us, really. I don't see Sheffield overtaking us unless we go on a really bad run of form, which I don't see happening. But as back to the game, we got back into the game, of course. Mason Greenwood scoring his first goal of the game in the equaliser with a thunderous shot. Gordon Ramsay's son couldn't keep it out, Ramsdale, so it was 1-1, and then it was a bit of a kind of ding-dong battle for the next kind of 20 minutes, and then we made it 2-1 through a penalty. Charlie Daniels handling the ball in the box clearly. Marcus Rashford scoring his 20th goal of the season, putting it past Aaron Ramsdale. I thought he nearly missed that pen. I thought he nearly missed it, but he puts it past Ramsdale into the bottom corner, and it was 2-1. And Martial makes it 3-1 just before the break in added time in the first half with a superb goal. But if you look back at a lot of his goals for Manchester United, it's almost a trademark goal from Anthony Martial. Cuts in from the left-hand side and whips it into that top corner. Ramsdale could do nothing about it. And it was 3-1 at half-time. Massive for us. Massive. And then, obviously, just after the half-time break, Bournemouth got a goal. And it was so weird. Like, the ball from Matic was shocking back to Bailly. He tries to control it, and he was judged to have handled it in the box. VAR didn't overturn it. It awarded the penalty, and they scored it. Josh King scored it, but it was such a weird and a stupid penalty to give away straight after the half-hour mark. It was absolutely clown. I mean, it was clown defending. It really was circus defending at the start of that game. However, we came back strong again. Greenwood producing a brilliant solo goal. Stuck it in the other top corner. Ramsdale again palming it. Didn't have enough force behind his hands to save it. And then Bruno Fernandes scoring his first free kick, and hopefully the first of many for Manchester United, as we ran out 5-2 winners, and a big performance and a big win. Welcome to Raymond and Football Fan 148. Thanks for joining, guys. Really appreciate it. Read out a few of your comments here. Liam says, all I hope is Sheffield United do us a favour against Chelsea whenever that fixture is. Has to be done. I hope you're right. Raymond, how you doing? He says, Greenwood is the future Ballon d'Or in the United shirt. I think, look, Greenwood is unbelievable at his age. I think we don't want to overhype him too much. We don't want to put too much pressure on him because he's still 18 years old. But at the same time, Mason Greenwood is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, he can finish on his left and right foot. The step overs, the little jinking runs as well, the movement of a forward player that he has. It's almost like the movement of an established, forward player that's been doing it for kind of 10 years. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And he has that naturally at 18 years old. He will go on to be a star, I'm sure. Full Van Womperate says, hey mate, good win for you yesterday against the relegation threatened Bournemouth team, but still only 2 points behind Chelsea. I think the race for Champions League could go down to the wire. Well, I think you're right. I think if you look at the final day fixtures, it's all set up for a last day bit of drama. We obviously have to play Leicester and Wolves are playing Chelsea, so it's a massive final day of fixtures potentially for the Champions League spots. I hope it doesn't come down to that because I will be sweating my arse off, but I think it might do. It just seems written in the stars, to be honest. Footy Live says, mate, what are your thoughts on Sancho personal terms being agreed, and where do you think he'll fit in if Greenwood keeps playing the way he is on the right wing? I think it's a difficult one. Look, I think Sancho is still the right decision for us to make. I think we do need to bring Sancho in, but Mason Greenwood is playing out of his skin right now. He's being so consistent. But I think at 18 years old, I don't think he'll mind being a little bit of a backup option, being a little bit of a bench option. So I don't think he'll be too worried if Sancho comes in, even though Sancho's quite young and he could potentially have a long career ahead of him as well. So I think, maybe Greenwood's form will get in the way of the Sancho deal, but if he keeps playing like that every week, then I'm not too worried. But obviously, adding Sancho to our team, even if it knocks Greenwood to the bench, will give us a lot of squad depth. True Devils, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining. Yeah, I've got my Discord. I've got my Discord open, mate. So if you can give me your Discord, I'll add you and I'll get you on. No worry. And also Footy Live, I'll let you know. No worries, mate. Liam says, yes, I think it'll go down to the wire, David, but I think somewhere you will drop points. And I think you'll most probably drop points against the Scousers. Yeah, we have to hope they do us a favour. Have to hope they do us a favour there. Obviously, Liverpool are on the beach right now. They've got no other competitions to be playing in. They'll probably play the youngsters, to be honest. But I don't know. It's a bit. Obviously, Liverpool win the league is frustrating, but obviously the fact that they could play a massive part in this top four race. They've still got to play Arsenal, I think. They've still got to play Chelsea, of course. They could play a big part. They could play a really big part. So we have to hope they continue to play the best they can and continue to take teams apart like they've been doing all season. Footy Live says, it's also being reported that Grealish has agreed terms, so do you think we can get both Sancho and Grealish deals over the line? To be honest with you, mate, I don't see a need for Jack Grealish if we get someone like Jadon Sancho. I don't need it. I don't think, I don't think we need Jack Grealish, especially with the way we're playing right now. If we keep Pogba and Bruno Fernandes, I don't think there realistically is a place for Jack Grealish in the side. Obviously, we could add him into the squad for squad depth, but realistically, I don't think there's a place in the side for Jack Grealish. By the way, True Devils, we can call on Skype if you like. If you don't have to download Discord, we can call on Skype if that's easier for you. So don't worry about it. Liam says, and that's the only time I ever want Liverpool to do us a favour. Exactly, mate, exactly. We're only Liverpool fans when it suits us, and that's the way it stands. That's the way it should be. But yeah, we can use Skype. Don't worry about that. We can use Skype. So if you want to use Skype, if that's easy for you, then please do. And you can get on this stream if you want for a little bit of a chat. And I'd be very, very welcome to it. Very, very welcome for you guys to join. And also, I want to do more shows where I have a guest on from the start, if you know what I mean. I can just, we can have a bit of a chat for you guys, because obviously my soothing tones are probably getting a bit boring for you guys right now. But when we have a guest on, I can ask some questions and we can have a little bit of a debate as well. And it's all good for the viewer. So hopefully we can do that in the not too distant future. But yeah, let me know your man of the match, guys. I think it probably is pretty obvious who man of the match is. Obviously, Mason Greenwood performing the way he did. It's very hard to give it to anyone else, to be honest. But I think as well, Bruno Fernandes has been absolutely fantastic for us. He scored the free kick as well, his first free kick for Manchester United. A superb goal. Ramsdale got nowhere near it. Brilliant from Bruno. Again, pulling the strings, getting another assist for Anthony Martial's goal as well. So good, mate. So good from Bruno Fernandes. Pogba, of course, Pogba isn't being looked at with so much scrutiny. I think that is really helping him. The fact that Bruno Fernandes is taking some of the light off Pogba, I think is actually really helping his performance, because he can play the way he is and play the way he wants to play without loads of people just looking at him and just expecting him to carry the team, if you know what I mean. So for me, I think that's not a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. Because Pogba, when he's trying to carry the whole team on his back, sometimes it looks like it's too much pressure for him. But with Bruno and Matic there, he can really come into his element and play the way he wants to play. So I'm really happy that Bruno Fernandes signed. What an impact he's had in this team. So yeah, I'll try and get some people on Skype right now as well. Make sure you leave a like, guys, if you're not already. If you are watching, make sure you do leave a like and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Thank you so much for 810 subscribers. I think we gained a few subscribers after that preview, so thank you so much. Really appreciate it. But yeah, okay, I'm going to open up Skype now because I think I've talked enough about the win and my thoughts on it. What more can be said? Obviously, just a brilliant, a great performance, a great win. It is what it is, you know what I mean? But yeah, if you want to... Alright, okay, right, cool, we got it, okay. Alright then, well. We'll get you on, right. Hold on, let me just get some headphones, because I need to get some headphones first, so just bear with me, chat. David, I'm going to call True Devils, because I did promise True Devils yesterday that he could come on the match reaction. So, yeah, I'll definitely do that. Footy Live just Greenwood for man of the match. But as an unsung hero, I would say Martial. His hold-up play was quality. And he scored that worldie of a goal, Martial. It was absolutely unreal from him. Absolutely unreal from Martial, gotta say. But I'm going to get my headphones now, so I'll just be a sec. Right. Okie doke, let's get the headphones on. Let's get the cool headphones on. Let's get this going. Alright. Up first, of course, it is... oh no, okay, right. Well, actually, we've got about 15 minutes. He has to do some stuff, so no worries. No worries, mate. Got 15 minutes, so... yeah, we've got... Obviously, I'll get True Devils on in about 15 minutes. No problem at all. But yeah, I thought Martial, good point. Really, really good point. Let's go the Tom's one. Alright, I'll add you on Discord and we'll get you on there, Tom. Get you on? Okay. Let's see if I can do this. Alright, sorry guys in the chat, this might be a little bit boring, but I'm just going to add Tom to the call. Okay. I don't know how that... Why is that not working? Right, I don't know why that's not working. I'm trying to get him on here. Okay, right, okay, that's fine. I'll have to just put that in again. 9496. There we go. Right, we sent the friend request. I'm Mo Hersey, how you doing? Thanks for joining. He says predicted 5-0, result 5-2. Yeah, I know. Obviously the two got. In fact, you know, we'll talk about that just now while we wait for Tom there to get in the Discord. I think the defensive errors were pretty shocking. First of all, Harry Maguire did not cover himself in glory. To be honest, he really didn't. Getting nutmegged, you won't want to see that again. Obviously the win's all that matters, but you won't want to see that again, Harry Maguire. And then Eric Bailly and Matic, I don't know what happened there. Honestly, it was such a freak thing to happen between those two. The ball just kind of gets deflected up onto... the ball just gets deflected up onto Eric Bailly's arm. And it's a ridiculous penalty to give away. It really, really is. I mean, it's a dubious penalty anyway, considering I'm not sure whether it hit his arm or his shoulder. I think it actually gets quite unlucky. But those two defensive errors for the goals, that is really, really shocking. I mean, if we were playing a team who was a bit better and had a bit more quality, then those goals could have really hurt us. They could have really hurt us. So yeah, defensively we've still got a few things to work on. But I'm not one of those people that says Maguire's done out here. I'm not one of these people that says Maguire needs to leave, you know what I mean? Raymond says if we won the Premier League next season, then Bruno has got to be top 3 most influential signings for Man United of all time. I mean, the way he's come in, Raymond, the way he's come in has been absolutely insane. 7 goals in his first 14 Premier League games. Couple that with the amount of assists he's got, and wow. He's been an unbelievable player for us, really. Unbelievable. Dazza, how you doing, mate? Thanks for joining. Afternoon, mate. He says, can't stay for too long as I'm getting the stream set up for the day. Oh, cool, man. Make sure you check out Dazza's channel. Thanks for joining anyway, Daz. Appreciate it. As always. So yeah, make sure you check out his stream when it comes on. Dazza says, ball hit his shoulder. Great start from Bai. Comes on and first thing he does is give away a dubious penalty. I mean, I was thinking that as well. You just think, seriously, your first chance back in the team and you do that. Can you believe it? Alright, well, I'm going to try and call Tom's here, and we'll try and see if we can get him on. Hello, Toms, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hi, how you doing, mate? How you doing?
Mate, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going really well, mate. Really, really well. Thanks for coming on. Obviously, your debut on the channel, so really happy to have you, mate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, look, first of all, I just want to ask you, what are your overall thoughts on the performance, the result, and anything like that?
Well, when we actually, because I like to go back and look at games and everything, and I just saw, you know, it was like we were watching an olden day game with Sir Alex Ferguson. You know, his way of playing was score freely and play freely, and that's exactly what I saw. You know, defensively we weren't exactly at the races. You know, I think that needs to improve, because if we played like we did defensively against, you know, a top team, maybe, you know, a Liverpool or Man City who've got the attacking players to hurt you, I think we could have been in a bit of trouble there. But with these teams like Bournemouth and that, who, you know, it's a case of if they score 2, we'll score 5. You know, that's how confident, obviously, we are in everything. And I think, like I've said before, obviously with the manager, I think he deserves respect for, you know, going 16 games unbeaten isn't exactly easy. You know, we've had to beat some top teams to keep that going, and I think that's the thrive, and that's where the mentality is coming in play. You know, and I looked at these Man United players. The Liverpool game at Anfield, it was where we lost 3-1 and we sacked Jose Mourinho instantly after it. I looked at the players who were wearing the Man United shirts and I thought, none of them really looked like they enjoyed playing for Man United. But you look at the team now, you know, it's completely different. You know, I see players who are just smiling, playing freely, you know, scoring freely. I don't think, and it was like what they said yesterday. Anthony Martial and Marcus Rashford, I think both of them have got 20 plus goals.
Yeah.
We haven't had 2 players at Manchester United get 20 plus goals since Dimitar Berbatov and Chicharito Hernandez, and I think that was in 2010. So that's like 10 years away. And a lot of people have made a lot of comparisons about Marcus Rashford and Martial and how far they can take the game. Obviously, both of them have signed long-term contracts at the club, so that's always a bonus. And I see a partnership. I see something similar to what we saw under Alex Ferguson, where we had Dwight York and we had Andy Cole. Obviously, they're not as good as them, but with them being such a young age, and we talked, and I talked about it to a couple of other people on like other United fans and everything. And when I spoke to them, and that when you actually look at our average age of our front three, if you put it as Rashford, Martial, and Greenwood, the average age of our front three is 22. That's like the average age. But you look at Liverpool, and they say that Liverpool have the best front three in Europe. Manchester United's front three have more goals than them altogether. And we've played so badly this season, you know, and they're only some of these players that we've got here, like Greenwood and that, we think he's, you know, obviously good right now. To say he's 18, how good is he going to be in 3 or 4 years? He's like 6 or 7 years away from his peak. You know, he's not even hit his peak. So what's he going to be like at his peak? Is he going to score in a hat trick every couple of weeks or whatnot? I think we've got an amazing player here. Yeah, amazing player.
100%, mate. Listen, I think you're spot on with what you said, and I think obviously you made the comparisons with Dwight York and Andy Cole with Rashford, Martial. I think at the start of the season, a lot of people did make those comparisons, and when both those players kind of had a period in the season when they got injured, there was a lot of talk about, you know, whether they'd be able to live up to the expectation of being almost a strike partnership. I think a lot of people were, well, obviously we brought in Igalo in January, but I think a lot of people were hoping for a striker with you know, a bit more credentials, a kind of a bit more of a world-class striker to come in rather than only Igalo. But he's done very, very well to himself, to be fair. But I think
every game he's played, he's scored in. So
exactly.
I don't really know why people need to diss him. Everybody knew what he was going to come in and do. He was just going to come in and be the backup striker, and he's happy to do that. And it's like with players like Igalo, people writ him off as soon as we signed him. As soon as we signed him, I said to a lot of people, I said, don't write off somebody who's passionate about a football club and who's supported a football club since they're a young age, because players who want to play for your football club are better than any world players. Players like Igalo who want to play for your football club for the right reasons is the players that you need at your football club. It's like years ago we went and bought, you know, Angel Di Maria and Falcao and stuff. They didn't want to come and play for United. You know what they came for? They came for the money. They could have gone to any top team in Europe, so why did they choose to come to Man United? It was for the money, and it's for the wrong reasons. But we're getting players in now, like Bruno Fernandes, and we're getting players in like Harry Maguire and stuff, who's obviously taking over the captain role and stuff. The players who come into the club, and whenever a player signs for a club, they always do a first interview at the club, like a player interview. And every single player we've signed, from James to Igalo, have all said, I've always wanted to join a top team in the Premier League, and there's only one top team for me in the Premier League over the years, and that's been Manchester United.
Exactly.
And they're the players that you want at your football club. They're the players that you want at your football club. We don't, you know, look at Liverpool 3 or 4 years ago. You know, their players that they've bought have been like £30 million players. But the reason why they've been so good is they've believed in the process, they've believed in the manager, and they've believed that anything's possible. And it's like when we were 2-0 down against Paris Saint-Germain, people will go in there and say, oh, we've got no chance. A club like Man United, anything's possible. Anything is possible. And that's why we can turn something round just as amazing as that. And like Liverpool did when they come and turn round that Barcelona game, that won them the Champions League. Not the Tottenham final, because they played absolutely terrible in that. I think Everton could have won that with the way that they played.
Yeah.
But that game won them the Champions League. You know, people say Tottenham were lucky and everything. I do think there was a little bit lucky. You know, getting the last kick of the game and it goes in the back of the net. You know, it's very lucky. Very lucky. But I look at Liverpool, they deserve to have beaten Barcelona, because Barcelona went in that as if people were betting everything Oh well, Barcelona. You'd expect Barcelona to at least score one goal. Bang, they've got an away goal, and there you go. They can just shut up shop.
Exactly, yeah.
But Liverpool obviously just clotheslined them in that, and they had a fast start where they got the early goal. I think in the opening 10 minutes, and it was game on. Exactly the same what happened with Man United in Paris. We got the opening goal. Yeah, we did concede, but from that opening goal, it kicked off, and we just came alive. And that's what I think's happening at Man United. I'm speaking to people I watch your show and everything every week and stuff, and I watch other people's shows. They're just positive all the time, and we haven't seen this over the last 7 years since Sir Alex Ferguson left. So positive, and it's not like 1 week we're positive and next week we're negative. We're positive. We've been positive nearly every week for the last 16 games. So it's not a case of we're positive 1 week and then next week we're just down in the gutter. We're doing something good here, because over the last 7 years, when we've had 3 other managers, it's as if we've built a house with no plans, no project, no nothing. We've bought players, we've bought world star players, and they've come to the club just for the money. Whereas you look at players that we've brought in, like Bruno Fernandes is on, I think he's on 150k a week.
So yeah.
He should be on about 300, 400k a week with the player that he is and the way that he's been playing. To score 31 goals, and I think he got like over 15 assists. Yeah, he won in the Portuguese league, but how many games do you play in the Portuguese league? It's not that many.
No.
It's not that many at all. And I think he's definitely a comparison to such as some of the great players we've had at this football club, such as Paul Scholes and stuff like that. I know it's early days, obviously, but he's just got that effect on a team. And, the impact that he's made, it's taken a lot of the pressure off of players like Pogba. Pogba was our only creative player. But now we've got 2 creative players, and I think we've still got a third one waiting in the wings in the youth team in Hannibal. I'm not sure if you've heard of him or anything.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, he's a really good little player. Him, and say that the age that we're getting these players at 16 years old. People say, other teams have the best youth system and everything. Manchester United, we've got probably 6 players who have come through the youth academy, play in our first team, or they sit on the bench. Rashford, Greenwood, McTominay, Pogba came through the youth system. And we've still got players who are coming through. Tender Minji. It could be a really good. I think he could save us millions in the market. Him to partner Maguire. We need someone who's not as the domineering figure in a sense with Harry Maguire, because we've got the aerial man like Liverpool. Liverpool's got Van Dijk, who's their big, their man in the air in a sense. And then they've got somebody who's just a bit who's smaller than him, who can sweep up the balls off the floor in it. Like Joe Gomez or somebody.
Yeah.
And that's what we need. It's like we've got Ferdinand in Harry Maguire. We've got like that replacement there for the future, but we haven't got the Vidic character.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But that partnership with Ferdinand and Vidic, that was one of the best centre-back partnerships in world football at the time. We need that figure back, and there's one name that I would throw up. Yeah, he was on the opposite team yesterday that got absolutely smashed 5-0, but really he couldn't have done much about the goals, because 4 of the goals were goals from outside, well, just world goals that were hit with so much power. The goalkeeper got a hand to it, but he couldn't even keep it out. They weren't really his fault, but I thought he played okay to say they got beat 5-0, and that's Nathan Ake. He's a good little sweeper defender who can just come in, he'll just tackle you straight away, but he won't give away a penalty. He'll just get the ball, even if it means he's got to put it out for a corner or a throw-in or whatever. He'll do that. And these are the sort of players that are passionate about the game. And we'll talk about modern-day football. I would love to play... people say Liverpool are the best team in Europe, which arguably over the last 2 years I think they have been. Winning going to 2 Champions League finals, then winning the Champions League, obviously, and then going on and winning the Premier League. I think they have been the best team in Europe for me over the last 2 seasons, which is not exactly particularly happy to say because we're United fans, but you've got to accept humility in a sense. But but no, I would love when we played Liverpool at Anfield. I think it was Andreas Pereira. He was playing in the attacking midfield role, and that's where Bruno Fernandes obviously plays now. And I can't remember who put the ball through. I think it was James who put a ball through across the box, and it missed everybody. And there was Pereira at the back post, and he missed an absolute sitter.
Yeah.
If that's Bruno Fernandes, that's 1-1. Game on. I just think when we play Liverpool next season, we already beat Manchester City, 2-0 with Bruno Fernandes and all these other players. And like I've said, reiterated just before, this team will only get better and better because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came out and said, we're only going to improve this team more. Whether that's we'll improve it with youth stars such as Teddy Mendy and Hannibal, or we'll go out into the market and we'll get these players in like Sancho, like Grealish and stuff to have a major impact on this team. And I just think, it's an exciting prospect because we've not had this for years, and
100%.
all the like traditions of Sir Alex Ferguson and the principles are coming back. The fight's there, the desire's there, the heart's there, and us as fans, we give the passion. And to say there's not been any fans there, in the stadiums and stuff, I think our players have definitely, made that, turn that into a positive. And even if we don't get top four, and I think a lot of United fans need to feel the same way about, not just with me, but probably with you as well. You might have the same feeling as me. Even if we do not qualify for the Champions League, we don't get into the top four, if we're, 5th or 6th, we should still be proud of this team. Make no mistake of it, we should be proud. 100%. At Christmas, we were dead and buried. We were, 8 points behind Leicester, and I think it was 7 points behind Chelsea, something ridiculous like that. Top four was a distant memory. But we've obviously brought in Bruno, we've brought in Ighalo. They've had a major impact at the team, and they've made players better, and we've obviously turned it around. It doesn't take long to turn the club's fortunes round. A year and a half ago when we had Jose Mourinho in the job, people were saying we're a million miles away, but suddenly we're a year and a half on. We qualify for this Champions League and we get some of these players in. Even if we don't qualify for it, we need to be proud of, what we've done this season and what we're going to do. But a thing I'd like to say is, you look at the way we've played and you look at... So, this is a quote that I'm just going to take. I think it was Ryan Giggs who said this. He said, you look at this United team, right, you're telling me if they don't get into the top four, that this United team isn't good enough to go on and win the Europa League and go and beat some of the top teams in such as Wolves and Inter Milan. It's well good enough to go and beat some teams in like that.
100%. Listen, I think it's what we're doing right now is very, very exciting indeed. And I think we're looking at the way we're playing right now and the way that other teams are starting to kind of falter slightly. I think we're in a very, very good position to get top four. But Tom, mate, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it, mate. And hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully the guys in the chat enjoyed it. I know that Daryl did. I want to read out a comment. Actually, he mentioned you. Oh, I've just deleted that. I've done that wrong. I have to get that back up. But Dazza actually said, this guy knows his stuff. Very good. So there you go. High praise from Dazza indeed for you, Tom, there, mate.
Cheers, Dazza.
But yeah, thanks for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it. Really, really good points made. And make sure you do come on again.
Yeah, I will do. No problem, mate.
All right. Cheers, Tom. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Yep, see you.
That was Tom there. I'm getting a call from Dazza, but I'm so sorry, Dazza. I did promise. Oh, this is gonna be a faff, isn't it? Wow, this is great. This is great stream content here, isn't it? But anyway, right, I need to get this. I accidentally deleted the chat. But anyway, I did promise True Devils that he was gonna get on, so I do apologise, Daz, man. We'll have enough time to get you on, Daz. Don't worry about that. But make sure you do keep getting your thoughts in the live chat and the comment section below. The comment section. Why not the comment section? Oh, you want Daz? Okay, well, if you insist, True Devils, we'll get Daz on. I mean, if you want to come on, True Devils, then you can, because I did promise you that you could come on. But if you're happy for Daz to come on, then I'll let him on. If you're sure. But yeah, I mean, that was some brilliant points made from Tom there. Some brilliant points made. And yeah, I mean, as he said, everyone's so positive right now about Manchester United. Like all the fan channels, everyone talking about Manchester United is so positive, and this is how we want it to be. We don't want to be every week talking about a draw against West Ham or a loss to Brighton. We don't want that. We want to have a positive mindset, and it's been so long since we had a team this exciting. Even when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer first went on his ridiculous run when he first took over Manchester United, we were excited, but we knew that it was going to end eventually. This team right now is playing unbelievable stuff. Speaking of unbelievable, Dazza is here. Dazza, thank you so much for calling in, mate. Really appreciate it. Make sure you check out Daz's channel in the if you check out Daz's channel, I'm not sure if it's in the description actually. I apologise if it isn't, but yeah, make sure you do check out Daz's football stands in the chat right now. And thank you to Ollie Broom for joining. Really appreciate it. He just says Ben. Appreciate it, Ollie Broom. Hope you're having a great day. But Daz, thanks for joining, mate. Really appreciate it. First and foremost, obviously 5-2 victory over Bournemouth. A very good result. What were your thoughts overall?
Overall, I thought it was a great performance. I thought the team put in a lot of effort. I thought Bruno Fernandes had a brilliant game as well. Greenwood, world class. I don't think a lot of people would be able to name, 18-year-old players that have scored as many goals as him. What's that now? 14, 15, something like 16 goals, maybe something like that in total for United. I think that's like his 8th goal this season. Something is, world class. I think. The first goal, Junior Stanislas, I thought he did very well, actually, to be honest. But we made it way too easy for them. Should have been better defensively. And, of course, De Gea needed to defend his near post a lot better than that. Rio Ferdinand criticised De Gea again. I don't know. I'm fed up of hearing all this criticism from De Gea, because, goalkeepers are goalkeepers, they're going to make mistakes. It comes with territory, and he was worried about his positioning on the free kick. Now, his positioning wasn't great, but it didn't really matter, did it, in the end, because they didn't score it. So I don't see why he was so, harsh on him about it. Not all keepers' positions going to be good either, I think the equaliser, Greenwood, I think the keeper should have done a lot better with that. Though at the same time, Greenwood did hit it with that much power. I think it was always going to go in it anyway. And second goal, penalty, I have to say, they couldn't have many complaints because it was a blatant handball. I was literally watching it upstairs. Had a few problems with the connection trying to watch it though. So I was getting snippets basically till the second half. But the penalty, they couldn't have any arguments about it at all. Blatant handball. Probably lucky not to get a yellow card maybe, because I know on another day referees would give yellows for that. Rashford, cool as a cucumber. Brilliant penalty, straight in. Third goal, this is a superb goal. What a goal this is from Anthony Martial. He's on the left-hand side. He cuts in towards the centre, hits it on his right foot, about 20 yards out, smashed into the top corner. I don't think any keeper would save that. World-class strike. And I'd say that's on par with Kevin Morelos' goal for Everton at Spurs a few seasons ago when they were under the management of Roberto Martinez. I think that's going back 2014 or 2015.
I remember that. Yeah, it was
I'd say that's on par with that goal because it was a superb goal. If not one of the United goals of the season, I have to say. And then the penalty for Bournemouth, as you said earlier, a bit of a dubious one, really. At first, when I saw the penalty given, I'm thinking I don't think it was a penalty. And I saw the replay. They showed us the replay about 4 or 5 times. and I still didn't think it was a penalty. I'm looking at it and it's hit. I think it's hit the top of his shoulder. I don't think it was handball at all. But it's this new handball rule. It's absolutely balmy. But it didn't matter. I mean, to be quite honest, I don't think. I mean, the penalty anyway, regardless if it was penalty or not, still well taken penalty. The fourth goal, another touch of class from Greenwood, brilliant. Just runs into the penalty area, smashes it straight in. He's on fire. He is on fire. And like Tom said earlier in the stream, we've got players on average about aged 21, 22, and they're scoring more goals than the Liverpool front three. Someone I have to say credit to Tom. Great points made in the stream. Certainly knows his stuff. Is that the first time he's been on?
I think it is. Yeah, first time debut.
And I'm assuming there's more to come.
I'm sure there is.
No, brilliant points made from him. I have to agree with everything he said. But I think 16 games unbeaten, superb one. I have to say, really brilliant one. But are we going to keep that going on to the end of the season? Probably will, because I'd say we've got some winnable games. Having said that, I mean, Burnley winning against Sheffield United, that's helping us at the minute.
Very good.
We've got, who have we got next? We've got Palace soon. Actually, I think we've got, is it Southampton? I can't remember now. I'm losing track of the games.
I think we've got Aston Villa next, isn't it? And then Crystal Palace. I'm not sure if that's right.
That's a crucial game.
Yeah.
Games like that. I mean, we said on the watch along for Sheffield United that games like this, not just obviously this was Sheffield United at the time, but games like Aston Villa, games like Southampton, Palace, Leicester as well. Those are the games we need to be winning if we're going to get into top four. Because we actually got a taste of being in top four. We win top four until Chelsea played, but I don't think they were ever going to lose against Watford.
No.
And if you look at all the other fixtures, Chelsea have actually got a bit of a hard one. They've got Wolves to play against as well, and that's the last game of the season. So, that could be the deciding game, in my opinion. So, big games coming up for both. For not just United, but for the other two teams as well, Wolves and Chelsea. And I think Wolves and Chelsea have a harder one. United have got the easier one, I'd say. Apart from West Ham, we do sometimes struggle against West Ham. And obviously Leicester away, let's not go back to what happened in 2014. But, I think the last time we played against... Last time we played against Bournemouth, we didn't look really that comfortable. And that, I think, was away from home. I believe we won. I can't remember now, to be honest. We're going that far back. We've had lockdown since then. So, it takes your mind off everything, this lockdown business.
Yeah.
But no, I think... I think the entire performance from the whole team was brilliant, professional performance once again. And I still think if you were going to pick a man in the match, I picked Mason Greenwood, realistically, just because I thought, he's scoring goals like that and he's on the right-hand side. What's he going to be like when he's actually in the centre as a centre forward? It could be, devastating for other teams, But the hair... I know someone just put something about the hidden live chat. He does make too many mistakes, but you have to remember it comes with the territory. Not all keepers are going to be perfect. If you look at the likes of Manuel Neuer, likes of ter Stegen, all the best keepers in the world, they're not always perfect. Yeah, they make some great saves, but you have to remember with David De Gea, if United didn't have David De Gea in goal, where would United be in the table?
100%.
If you look at some of the saves he made, for starters, the save at Spurs kept United in the game. He's denied a lot of the big teams. He has made some good saves, apart from the mistakes. Forget about the mistakes, but if you just look at the saves he's made, he's up there as one of the best keepers.
Yeah.
But a lot of people mentioned Dean Henderson as well. If Dean Henderson goes into United, I don't think he'll be the number one keeper. not a chance. Because I think it would be a bit harsh. Be a bit harsh on David De Gea.
Yeah.
Because okay, he makes mistakes and it happens. Forget about it. Because it'd be harsh on him, really. And I think Dean Henderson, he's a good keeper when he's got a good defence. And Sheffield United's defence is not that great. And they showed that at Old Trafford. But that's obviously they were missing John Egan. Obviously, Dean Henderson wasn't playing. So I think if he does come in, he'll be the second goalkeeper. I think he'll be ahead of Sergio Romero. He'll never be the number one keeper for United. I don't think.
No, I think it might be difficult. I think, Henderson, and again, is another one of those players who has clearly stated he wants to play for Manchester United, someone who's really passionate about wanting to play for Man United, it seems. And that's obviously great to hear from a United fans' point of view. Too many times we've had players who, don't want to play for the club, but are just coming for the money. But if Henderson came in, he'd obviously really want to play for United, play for his boyhood club. But I think I agree with you, Daryl. Obviously, we have Sergio Romero as well, who has been a fantastic backup to David De Gea. Got one of the most amounts of clean sheets for a backup goalkeeper in the world. And also David De Gea, for me, I think you make a good point. Obviously, he is making quite a few mistakes at the moment, but goalkeepers always only get remembered for their mistakes. No one ever focuses on the amount of saves they made or the amount of times that David De Gea has pulled us out of the fire, really. I think he won back-to-back Player of the Seasons as well, which is a ridiculous feat for a goalkeeper. So I think that's the unfortunate things for goalkeepers and defenders, is that people only really remember them by the mistakes they made rather than the brilliance that they do. So that's the only thing with being a goalkeeper. I think David De Gea is still a really, really good goalkeeper. I think he's not having the best of periods right now, but I still think he's a very, very good goalkeeper. Probably still one of the best in the league. But I have heard a lot of people say what you said, Daryl, which is that it might be, a lot of people are saying it might be time for David De Gea to move on. But maybe it would be a bit of a mistake, really, to get rid of De Gea just because he's on a bit of a poor run of form at the moment. And Ben there saying that De Gea's got a problem now, too many mistakes. Thanks for joining, Ben, by the way, appreciate it. But I think that's a very interesting point you made. But listen,
I'll tell you something though.
Yeah, go on.
We're talking about, obviously, a lot of people wanting to hate, obviously, people wanting to hate to go mainly because of the mistakes and stuff. Yeah. And I agree. I mean, it's annoying. I always find it really frustrating when people don't think about the good things that players have done. And I'll tell you now, if it was any other goalkeeper, like Sergio Romero or Lee Grant or someone like that, I guarantee they wouldn't be asking for the head.
No.
I think a lot of United fans are just so picky on De Gea. And it annoys me because if it was Romero, they wouldn't be doing that. They'd be saying, okay, he's made one mistake and that's it. Romero's not as good as De Gea. I really don't think he's as good as De Gea at all. And not just De Gea, but if it was any other player that's outfield, if it was an outfield player like Rashford's made loads of mistakes recently. He's missed sitters that he should be scoring. He hasn't scored in the last few games, and people are, and no one's asking for him to go. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, 100%. Listen, I think obviously people choose who they want to kind of target in terms of criticism, and I think David De Gea deserves criticism considering he hasn't been brilliant. But at the same time, you have to treat every player the same. It doesn't matter who they are. If they're not playing well, you have the right to criticise their performance. But obviously, if they are playing well, you've got to give them praise as well. It has to be a balance. But yeah, I think David De Gea for me is still one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League, and I'm sure he'll go from. I mean, I think he's similar to Rashford, which is the fact he's a bit of a confidence player. When he's performing at his best, when he's at the highest level of his performance, he is incredible. But when he's a bit low on confidence, maybe when he's made a few mistakes, it can make it very, very difficult for you as a goalkeeper psychologically. So I'm obviously right now he's in a bit of a rut, but I think 100% he'll come back stronger. Someone who, has before been voted in the as the best goalkeeper in world football. Someone who has got the Man United Player of the Year twice in 2 consecutive seasons. He is not a bad goalkeeper, and anyone who thinks he's a bad goalkeeper is mistaken, to be honest with you. But Daryl, I'm a bit conscious of the time, and also I did promise that True Dells would get on. But thank you.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Thank you so much, Daryl, for coming on. Really appreciate it, and make sure you check out his channel as well, Dazzler's Football Stand. You'll find him in the live chat if you haven't already. Make sure you check it out. And you're nearly at 1,000 subscribers, which is amazing, mate. Hopefully you get over the line today or very, very soon. But yeah, keep that going, mate. Keep it going.
Yeah, we're only 8 away now.
Nice.
It's a question of it's getting to 1,000 subs and then keeping hold of them.
Oh, exactly.
Because people like a sub and an unsub.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there'll be no problem for you, Dal, mate. I'm sure.
We'll get there.
Yeah, hopefully you do. As I said, make sure if you're not watching right now, make sure you do check out Dazzler's channel in the live chat. Dazzler's Football Stand. Search on YouTube, you'll find it. Thanks for coming on, Daz, as always. Really appreciate it.
No worry, mate. Cheers, mate.
See you next time.
Cheers, mate.
All right, and finally, we've got True. We have True Devils. Hi, mate. How you doing? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. We'll try and get True Devils back on. We'll try and get him back on. But yeah, guys, make sure you let me know what your thoughts on what people have said in the calls. I think Dazzler makes some really good points there as well. But yeah, let me know what you guys are thinking about what people are saying. And also, guys, if you want to, get on the Skype and things like that for future streams, because I haven't actually done that many calls recently. It's been mainly myself. And as I said earlier in the stream, obviously my kind of dulcet tones might be getting a bit boring, and maybe it'd be better if I did do more call-in shows. So if you want me to do more call-in shows like this, make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already. Alright, 1 minute, and we'll get Kasim on. We'll get Kasim on. But yeah, this has probably been one of my longest streams I've had in a long time. 53 minutes, nearly an hour long, which is incredible. I mean, I haven't done hour-long streams for ages, but hopefully we get Kasim on now. Kasim, how are you doing? Thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, bro.
How are you doing, mate? How are you doing? Thanks for coming on. But yeah, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Very, very well. Obviously, Man United are playing some of the best football I've seen from Manchester United, and we're winning games. Life is good right now. Life is good. What do you think? What was your overall thoughts on the performance yesterday, and who was your man of the match?
We did very well yesterday. I think that's probably down to Ollie because I think we were 1-0 down during the drinks break, and I think he really rerouted the team and all that. And I think we did very, very well and coming back. And I think David De Gea, of course you say he's not finished as a goalkeeper. I definitely agree he's not finished as a goalkeeper. But I don't think anybody makes a mistake like that. Not a good keeper and that makes a mistake like that, Nobody does. Our performance was very good. Pogba, I thought he was very good, even though he's not out of third gear yet. Yeah, so I thought his performance was very, very good yesterday from Pogba. Rashford, of course, he got a goal from his confidence, and Mason Greenwood, obviously, probably the man of the match, I say, yesterday. A very, very good performance. Of course, next year, hopefully, we're in the Champions League, and he can really prove himself, and then after he proves himself in the Champions League, maybe we can, maybe even win the Champions League next season. Of course, we're not there yet. But maybe if we add Sancho, our first team is very, very good at winning the Champions League next season. And I think that, we just need squad depth. And I think in the next 2 seasons, after we get squad depth, we can maybe challenge for every trophy. But we're not there yet. And I think people understand we're not there yet. The host yesterday, there was lots of things on Twitter saying Greenwood age 18 versus Mbappe age 18. I think Greenwood, personally, he needs to prove himself in the Champions League, and I think after he proves himself in the Champions League and the Euros, then we'll have a discussion. Of course, I think he can get at that level, and I want to put one thing. Of course, everyone saw him at the academy, and they saw how much of a good player he was, and I think he just needs to be developed right. I think next season, don't play him a lot. Don't play him because we're going to get Sancho, hopefully, on the right. And of course, Sancho, he's one of the best players in Europe right now. And I think if we get, Sancho on the right and keep playing on the right, and Rashford, Martial, that's a very good front three. And I think you put Greenwood on in some of the Champions League games. I think maybe play Greenwood in the big games as well, like Tottenham or something, if Sancho a rest. I think next season, our main thing is that we need to play well against the small teams, and then against the big teams, I think we need to counter-attack, because I think personally, if we play good football against Man City and Liverpool, I think we'll get thrashed next season. But we need to respect our opponents, even though it hurts me to say this. We need to respect our opponents. Of course, we're Manchester United, and of course we don't respect anyone before, but now we're not at that level yet, and I think we need to, buy some more good players before we come at that level. And I think Jadon Sancho is a very good player, but he's not going to change us, making into us in Premier League Champions trophy. Kieran, do you think we'll win the Premier League next season? Of course, lots of United fans are saying we can win the Premier League. I don't think we can win it.
Winning the Premier League next season is a massive, massive ask. I think we can definitely challenge. We can definitely challenge for the Premier League. I think the way we're playing right now, it all looks very, very positive, obviously. But you do have to wonder what would happen if we started to get a few injuries. We are very lucky right now that we're able to play our strongest side and play it consistently, and everyone's playing really well. But our squad depth is questionable at times, and if we were to get a few injuries, I think our side will look a lot weaker. And I'm not sure whether we'll be able to realistically challenge the likes of Liverpool and Man City for a Premier League, looking at their squad depth. But that being said, if we were to be able to bring in some people in the transfer market, obviously looking at likes of Sancho, even Grealish as well as a backup or someone like that, if we were able to improve our squad depth, I think we could definitely give a good crack at it. But I feel like ultimately,
of course, everything above Sancho is not Sancho quality. But the person I'd be looking at, of course, I don't think people. I think Tom, of course, someone old man G Red Devil Studio. I'm on his podcast every Monday.
Of course, I know G. Of course, welcome to stream, G. Thanks for joining, man. I appreciate it. You can definitely come on, definitely.
Yeah, of course. I always have opinions about Rashford. Of course, yes, but I think the perfect alternative is Adama Traore. I think he's very good. Of course, he got very good upper strength. And of course, I think people don't understand. People say he had an average game against Liverpool and Johnny. That was his best performance. He absolutely destroyed Robertson, and even Virgil van Dijk backed off of Adama Traore because he knew what Adama Traore could bring. Adama Traore, for me, would be the perfect alternative. I think he just needs to get consistency. Of course, yesterday was not consistency. Yesterday was just Adama Traore, not at the races against Arsenal. I think Arteta. I didn't really watch the game, but I think Arteta probably just got a plan for him. That's it. So yeah. We did very well yesterday. I'm very happy. We're not winning the title next season. We're not winning the title next season, and I think we'll win the title maybe the year after we get some players in and all that. So yeah, I think that's very good. I've also heard so much people saying trash about Rashford. Of course, Rashford's my favourite player at United. I think he's better than Kylian Mbappe. I think he's very, very good. I put him at that level. I think if Manchester United get Champions League next season, of course he got the injury in January. I don't think people forget that. I think next season we can judge him because he should be really at the races then. But yeah, that's my say on it.
High praise indeed from you, mate. Rashford the same level as Kylian Mbappe. That is high praise, because I mean Rashford's what, like
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 4 years older than Kylian. Well, 5 years old, no, 3 years older than Kylian Mbappe, but still.
No, I think Mbappe is like 20 and Rashford's about 22.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're probably right. Actually, you're probably right there. But yeah, still, I think if Rashford could, if Rashford could be at the same level as Kylian Mbappe, perform that way consistently, we've got ourselves a player. But yeah, exciting times ahead. I agree with you, mate. Exciting times ahead. But thanks for calling in, mate. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Kieran. Oh yeah, go on.
Of course, are you going to be doing a live show tonight? Because I'm going to be in the comments if you do.
Well, I probably won't be doing a live show tonight, but I'll definitely. Well, I mean, right now I'm only really doing shows for previews and reviews. But if there is any sort of news or anything like that, or if there's any ideas for shows that you guys, think, or even you, Cassim, think I should kind of adopt and to try and fill the gap between games and stuff, then please let me know. Because I'd love to do more content for the channel.
Yeah.
So,
so I just want to shout out my socials and that. So, of course, I don't have Twitter and that, but my Twitch, I'm going to be streaming my first thing on Twitch at probably 3 o'clock. It's called True Football 2007. Join me for that, man. Everybody, True Football 2007 on Twitch. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Thanks for the show, Kieran. Thanks for the opportunity as well.
Hey, no worries, man. Thanks for coming on. Always welcome, as always. And yeah, cheers, man. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate the support as well. Thanks for watching. And yeah, have a good day, man.
Yeah. Alright, you too, man. Cheers.
Cheers,
Bye.
man. See you later. There, thanks for calling in, True Devils. And yeah, G is Skype as well. Yeah, well, I can use both. I can use either Discord or Skype. So whichever one is better for you, then yeah, come on the call. We've had 3 callers already, which is nearly a record for the channel, to be honest. I don't really do many call-in shows, but it's great to do them. It's great to hear other people's opinion. Saeed, how to call in you? Well, welcome, Saeed. Thanks for joining. He says, how to call in, bro. I also want to join. Well, right now I'm either using Skype or Discord, so you can either give me your Skype name and I can add you, or I can give you my... Well, I'll tell you, I'll give you my Skype name. For some reason, I used to have it in the description and I don't anymore. But if you just... Well, if you search for... it's weird. I know, it's weird, right? This is my Skype name, I think. So look, don't judge me for that. He's a former Swansea City player. I think I made my Skype when I was about 10 years old. I thought I was being funny. So yeah, don't judge me on that. That's my Skype name if you want to add me. So yeah, all right. But yeah, I think it'll be a first as well. I've been on Red Devil Studio. I've been on G's channel quite a while, so it's only fair that we get him back on here. So that'll be really exciting to get him on. And Saeed, let me know your Skype, and I'll get you on as well. But yeah, looking forward to it. But a lot of great opinions coming on the calls, and this is making me want to do more call-in shows like this, to be honest. And I was definitely thinking we could do a call-in show. Maybe just about, maybe like just getting people's opinions on certain Man United topics, or I mean any sort of debate or anything like that, because this is actually really, really enjoyable, just kind of sitting there listening to Man United fans' opinions, and it's great. It really is good. And also, we've been going for over an hour, which is, again, a bit of a streak for me. I don't usually do streams over an hour. I think I used to do that when I was, I think last season I did a few streams over an hour, but I think it's one of the longest streams I've done, which is great. It's great. I could probably do another hour at this rate, to be honest. But that's the thing. It's just so good to hear people talking about a really positive performance. A really, really an exciting team. The team is playing such good football right now, especially going forward. Defensively, there's still a few things to mop up and clear up and improve. But I think with Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, even though Maguire has made a few errors, and I think he's not the finished article just yet, I think he's still much better than what we had last season. Wan-Bissaka obviously playing really well. Obviously Luke Shaw's been doing alright. I think defensively, again, Luke Shaw's another player that needs to improve a little bit. But if we can fully get to where we want to be defensively and where we want to be going forward, I think we could be a real force. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, lads. I think a year ago, I mean, obviously a year ago today, the season was finished. But if you asked me a year ago whether I was looking forward to Manchester United games, I would have said no. I would have said I'm not looking forward to watching Man United. Obviously, watching United is great entertainment, and following your team it's different to just watching another game of football. But I was always really nervous going into Man United games. I was always really worried we're going to get another beating or we're going to get another point. But now the team is playing with such freedom, such energy, such confidence. It's just so good to watch. It really is, and it's a great time to be a United fan right now. It's a great time to be a United fan right now. I can't think of many other times since Sir Alex Ferguson left where it's been this good to be a United fan. As Kasim said, 16 games unbeaten for Manchester United. 16 games. What a run from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. A lot of people had a lot of reservations with Solskjaer. A lot of people said he wasn't good enough, especially earlier in the season when we just lost to West Ham. A lot of people were saying he needed to go. And I remember after that Burnley loss, a lot of people got on his back. A lot of people indeed got on his back. I'm not sure who this is, but we'll pick it up anyway.
Hey, Kieran.
Oh, G, how you doing, man? G, thanks for coming on.
It's me. Yes, yeah. No, thanks for having me on, buddy. Sorry, I haven't used Skype in a while, so I was like, what's my username? So, but good to be on your channel. Actually properly for the first time. So it's good.
Yeah, it's a momentous day, momentous occasion to have old man G on the channel. Bookmark the date, lads. Bookmark the date. But anyway, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. And make sure you check out Red Devil Studio as well. Really, really good stuff on there. But G, obviously a very, very positive result for United and a great performance. What was your thoughts overall?
I was gassed, So I mean, because you probably notice it as well. But as your YouTube channel sort of grows, you get obviously a lot of support, but you also start to get more haters, especially from rival fans. If you do specifically you support a particular club, and I know for a fact that there have been a lot of Chelsea, Liverpool fans, Spurs fans, Arsenal fans that were sort of like vultures waiting for Manchester United to fall. And as soon as we conceded that first goal, the banter that I was receiving, oh, it's this, it's that, etc. And and I felt. And at the start, I was like, oh, wow, Bournemouth are quite, they're expansive, they're putting us under pressure, etc. This might be tough. But the reality is that they were leaving us a lot of space. And eventually we exploited that. And to be honest, when we scored that goal, when Greenwood got that equalizer, you're like, let's go. Let's go. And, obviously, we get the penalty, and it's 2-1. And to be honest, after 2-1, I'm like, I think this game is done. I was that confident, that it's done, it's over, because we it's weird, but compared to previous games where if we would concede, I would be like, okay, how are we going to score goals? How are we going to break teams down? What are we going to do? Heads drop. Now it's almost like an affront. Like I know that we can score goals. And that for me is our biggest problem, because I know a lot of people criticize the defense, but to be honest, I think our biggest problem in the first half of the season was because we were not creating enough chances and therefore scoring goals. That was our biggest problem. It's not like we, people make it sound like we concede 3 goals every other game. Like, I can't remember this season. I mean, maybe you guys can remember. Has there been a Premier League game where United have conceded more than 2 goals?
I don't think so. I can't think of any. I can't think of
one. I know City there's been games that City have conceded 3 goals, where Liverpool conceded more than 3 goals, i.e. against City, where Spurs, Arsenal, etc. But I can't remember a time where United have conceded more than 2 goals in one Premier League game, let alone I think in the FA Cup we hadn't conceded until Norwich, and in the Europa League, we barely conceded. So while I do think that our defence can be improved, I don't think that was the main issue going into the season for Manchester United. It was our inability to create chances, break teams down and score goals. Now with Bruno Fernandes essentially being the missing key in a fit Paul Pogba, we're starting to see that. And I'm going into games thinking, we can do this. We can do this.
Oh, I mean, 100%. I mean, you made a great point that when they went 1-0 down, you still felt that we are gonna get back into it. And I feel like, for me, it was a big change because when the team, would go 1-0 up at Old Trafford previously, let's say before this kind of run started, when we were in a bit of turmoil, I'd always think the worst. I always think, realistically, do we have the attacking? Do we have the quality up front right now to get back into this game or even win the game? And I was always very, very doubtful when a team went 1-0 up. I was very, very worried. But it was a weird, but obviously a very good feeling when they went 1-0 up. Obviously it was a bummer to concede. It was a bit frustrating, but you always felt that we were going to get back into that game and we were going to turn it around. And obviously, with the brilliance of Mason Greenwood, Bruno Fernandes, and Martial as well, we got the job done and made it look somewhat easy in the end. But yeah, I think it was a big just kind of change in mindset from not only the players but the fans. And I think having the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Pogba, and even Matic as well playing well again, playing at the best of their ability, the forward players being lethal in front of goal. It's all very positive. But I want to ask you, G. First of all, just want to read a comment. Sorry, TTX says defense is shaky. We need someone alongside Harry Maguire. And the thing is, we tried Lindelof. We subbed off Lindelof. Bai comes on, and he doesn't have the best of starts. I mean, obviously, it's dubious whether it was handball or not. Obviously, that's going to be.
I don't actually think. Sorry to interrupt you, Kieran, but I think Lindelof came off because I think he had a back injury, so that was fair enough. Like, I actually know a lot of people seem to. I don't know where a lot of people seem to criticize Eric Bailly sort of for that thing. That, Bailly, this is why you're sort of not. And I'm like, hang on for a second, guys. Like, Bailly divides opinion, but I do think that things need to be taken into context because. Bailly has not started aside from the Norwich game. I think it was a Norwich game where he pretty much had a few shaky. He needs time to get into it. He'll have a shaky first 5-10 minutes, and then will be perfectly fine for the rest of the game. And even with that penalty that you can see, one, like I said, it looks quite dubious because two things. One, it looked like it hit his shoulder. And two, the ball looks like it doesn't completely go into the. It's on the line. So for me, it actually looks like it should. If anything, it should have been a free kick just outside the box because the full ball is not in it. I know the full ball doesn't have to be in the box, but it should be at least crossing the line.
100%.
At least that's from my understanding of the rule. If part of the ball is outside the line, it should be a free kick. So, but that's my sort of understanding. But anyway, even building up to that, you had a poor ball from Maguire to Matic, and then Matic kind of sort of kicks the ball up in the air, and I can kind of see if he's kicked it up, and Bayer's kind of how do I? He probably should head it, but I guess what I'm saying is that it was poor defensively from Maguire and poor from Matic to put him in that situation in the first place. But again, after that incident, he was fine, So. I don't know. I feel like with Eric Bailly, I think that the thing with a lot of these players is that with Eric Bailly is that, and even with Fred, we saw is that you need to give these players runs of games. So I think Eric Bailly could actually be good enough for Manchester United as our centre back. It's just that he needs a run.
Yeah, listen. Go on. Oh, I was just going to say that obviously people do forget that when Bailly first came back from his injury before the lockdown. We had a run of games where we were keeping clean sheets. Obviously, got the clean sheet against Chelsea, and people were singing his praises. And obviously, after one kind of mistake, which obviously we talked about just there, might not even be that much of a mistake. Really, he probably got quite unlucky. In truth, people are saying that he's a bit erratic.
Sorry to interrupt. I don't get what I don't understand is how. I mean, it's probably because we spent 80 million on Harry Maguire, but the reality is that you can't. Harry Maguire got schooled. You could argue that Harry Maguire was, Harry Maguire in those two goals, he played a part in those two goals. He got schooled at his near post, nutmegged by there, but to be fair, David De Gea should not be beating his near post. But he played a part in it. And even the second goal, if he just plays a better pass out, not in that sort of area where Matic, because I think he plays it to Matic, who's being pressurised by 3 or 4 Bournemouth players. Matic has nowhere else to go, so he passes it back to Maguire, passes it back to Bayern, you get the penalty, So I just think that like as soon as Bay has a mistake, everyone's like, he's not good enough. He needs to be stopped. Maguire has made at least 3 or 4 mistakes since the lockdown that have cost us goals, and it's like, let's kind of try and, because we've obviously spent 80 million on him. But if I'm honest, do I think that Maguire is amazingly better than Eric Bailly? I don't think so. Like he's clearances headed wise, yes, but in terms of on the ball, I don't necessarily think so.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. I think obviously, yeah, when you pay that much for a player, I think the fans are gonna do as much as they can to kind of defend him, and I think. Yeah, look, his performance after lockdown has not been great. Like, you can't really look at the games we played and watch the games we played and say he's been amazing. I don't think he's been like terrible, but you can't say that he's been solid throughout. And yeah, I think obviously as TTX says there, the kind of conversation right now is who out of Lindelof or Bailly or even a potential transfer coming in is going to be partnering Harry Maguire. And it looks like with Ole giving Maguire the captaincy, it looks like he's going to stick with Maguire for the foreseeable future. And that's understandable. Obviously, when you spend a decent amount of money on a player, you want to try and keep him in the team as much as possible. But yeah, I'm
not going to lie. I didn't really agree with that decision. Not because I have an issue with Harry Maguire as a person, but it's just like, he just signed for the club. This is his first season, and then you give him the captaincy. I don't think that is right. So I don't know what beef there was with David De Gea. For me, David De Gea should be the captain. He's been there for how long? Whatever. He's one of the highest earners. He took the captaincy off him and give it to Harry Maguire, who's only been here for not even a season. That's one decision. I have issue with, especially because, as you rightly said, the problem with giving someone a captaincy, same thing with like Harry Kane in England, is that if you give them a captaincy, you then force your hand, they have to play. Why can't we see a Bailly and Lindelof? Why can't we see a Bailly and Maguire? Why can't we see what the best adjust our defensive partnerships to see? But because he's going Harry Maguire the captaincy, he basically has to start almost every game, which I don't think is a good idea because he's played almost every game for Manchester United this season. And fair play to him, but he needs a rest, he needs a break. He could get injured. Maybe he is playing with an injury as he did before lockdown. So, but that said, I still think that like it's not. I don't think that defense on defense. As I said at the start, I don't think that it's as big of an issue as people are making it out to be, is my point. Because of the fact that now we are creating chances for cutting teams open and scoring goals. Now we're like, right, okay, finally we can go on out and actually, if you have that midfield of Matic, Pogba, and Bruno, people say I think the best front 6 in the Premier League. Or like I can't think of a better midfield right now than Matic, Pogba, and Bruno.
Oh yeah.
And even argue front 3. There was a statistic that was going on that said that Mason Greenwood, Rashford, and Martial have scored more goals in all competitions than Salah, Mane, and Firmino.
yeah. That's a ridiculous stat when I saw that. I couldn't believe it, but I guess.
But apparently, Kieran, Martial is lazy, Rashford is trash, and Greenwood is inexperienced.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, I was just going to ask you about the forward line actually, and in particular Mason Greenwood. Obviously, a superb performance by Mason Greenwood yesterday. Just on Greenwood, where do you think Mason Greenwood's ceiling is in terms of how good he could become? And in terms of the Sancho transfer, I'm interested to hear what you think about this. Obviously, Jadon Sancho would probably take the place of someone like a Mason Greenwood in the team. Do you think that we should still go for Sancho and maybe look at Greenwood as more of a, improving our squad depth maybe as a bench option? Or do you think there is a starting place for Greenwood in the team even if Sancho comes in?
the thing about it is about I still think we should get Sancho because we need squad depth. And at the end of the day, all it takes is an injury to Martial. People forget that Pogba was injured for how long? Rashford was injured for how long? Martial was injured for how long? So as soon as you take some of these players out, we have a bit more squad depth than we had before in like Igalo coming in, but as soon as you take those players out, suddenly we have problems. So because of that, I think you still go for Sancho. I think it's good because it means that like there's cause for competition as well, which means that there's improvements. But the thing about Mason Greenwood that like I like is that Mason Greenwood is flexible. Like in under 23s, like he wasn't a right wing, he was a forward, obviously. So he can play as a striker, he can play on the left, he can play on the right, because he's two-footed. So he can play on the left foot, can score, both goals, I think. One would like that were excellent. He scored with his left foot, and one he scored with his right foot. And you're like, whoa, so there were a lot of, I think, I was speaking to some fans who think, don't hype him up. He could be next Yan and Zion or the rest of it. You're like, okay, yeah, sure, of course. This could all go terribly wrong, So, but I think the difference between Mason Greenwood right now is that one, he's two-footed. Two, his composure. And this is what I try to explain to a lot of people that seem to discredit Greenwood is that like the composure that Greenwood has in front of goal and the footballing brain he has is miles ahead, in my opinion, of Marcus Rashford and at times Anthony Martial. Like the goals that he's scoring. These are not just like these are not what I would call youth goals, which is that like counter-attacking pace goals. Where like you get the ball rolled up, you get the pace, you outpace defenders, you score the goal. Those aren't the goals that Mason Greenwood is scoring. I mean, some of them are, but these are well-worked, clinical, ice-cold finishes. Like he scored against Bournemouth yesterday. And the fact that he can play, what I would like to see, the fact that he can have that sort of flexibility sort of shows that even if you bring a Sancho, you could easily have a situation where, okay, let's say Sancho gets injured. One of Martial or Rashford gets injured, which is a possibility. Well, then you can then play Greenwood up top. You can play Martial on the left, or you can alternate between Martial and Greenwood, but probably Martial on the left because that's to come inside. Greenwood up top, then Sancho on the right, and that's still strong. Or if Martial gets injured, Rashford on the left, Greenwood up top, Sancho. So there is that sort of flexibility because I don't think that we're going to be able to go for next season without injuries to our squad. To one of the front three players, we're just not going to. It's not going to happen. So Greenwood is definitely going to get game time. He's going to get games. There's no doubt about it. And if he improves, then he probably will displace a Rashford or a Martial, potentially a Sancho. We're just going to see what happens.
Oh yeah, well listen, I think that's a very, very good point. I think squad depth is key, especially when people have called in today have been talking about potentially challenging for the title. I personally think it's going to be a bit difficult for us to do that next season. But I think one of the main things we need to work on is squad depth, and I think with Sancho coming in, I think he definitely improves that front line, and I think having someone like Greenwood to potentially come off the bench, and we have to remember he's still only 18 years of age, so. I think for him, I don't think he's going to mind too much, even if he does kind of drop to the bench for a few games, because I think he'll realise that where he is right now, I don't think even he thought he'd be in this position where he'd be 18 years old, regularly starting for Manchester United and scoring goals in most games he plays. I don't think he even envisaged that. And a similar situation with the likes of Daniel James, where realistically we didn't bring Daniel James in to play every game, but the way injuries have happened for us, obviously Rashford and Martial getting injured, Daniel James has had to play a very much a large proportion of the games, and most of those games he probably didn't think that he'd be playing when he first signed from Swansea. So I think Greenwood, I don't think will be too dissatisfied with the fact that if Sancho comes in, he might be replaced. But as you said, it's a good point. He can score on his left and right. He's so flexible. He can play pretty well anywhere along that front three, and it's just so exciting to have a player like that. It really is. But G, if you go.
one last thing about Greenwood, sorry, before I go. And the thing that I think people remember about Greenwood, it's also, as someone told me once, it's not sometimes about just scoring goals. It's about when you score. And at least 2 times this season, maybe 3, I don't know, but certainly 2 times this season that I recall, Greenwood has bailed us out. A goal against Everton, when Everton were 1-0, we couldn't break them down at all. To get that goal, to sneak it at the near post, to get that draw, which might be important. That point that might be important in getting top 4. That was Greenwood. And even against Bournemouth, the 2 times he scored, we were under pressure by Bournemouth. We were goal down. They were coming at us because of feeling a bit confident. He scores the goal and switches the game. 3-2, when we just conceded the goal and Bournemouth again feeling confident, he scores the goal, we're relieved. So that for me is why I have good hopes for Greenwood, because it's not just the fact that he's just coming on and scoring a goal when we're winning 4-5-0, or coming on and scoring a goal when we're losing and it doesn't really matter. He's scoring important goals, not just goals, but important goals. And so, I think the sky's the limit for him.
Yeah, it's so exciting, isn't it? It's so exciting. I mean, we saw obviously before he came in, you've got all the footage from him in the youth team. We were watching and thinking, how has this guy not got a start yet for Manchester United? And he suddenly burst onto the scene, and it's amazing to think that he's only 18 years old, and yeah, as you said, he's saving us in games. An 18-year-old, it kind of reminds me of what happened under Van Gaal when Rashford came through. He was scoring important goals for us. He scored that one at the Etihad as well, and he was only 18 years of age at that point. So it's incredible what the youth can do. And yeah, Greenwood, I agree, the Greenwood's definitely the sky's the limit for him. He's got a bright future ahead. I just hope that he can remain injury free and doesn't get hampered by that. That's the worst thing that can happen. But as well, I feel like we don't need to put pressure on him. We just let him do what he does, because he's doing it at the best. He's playing amazingly right now. But yeah, thank you for coming on, G. Really appreciate it. Really enjoyed your opinions as always.
No, I appreciate it, buddy. You take care. Guys, support Red Devil Weekly. Make sure that you like the vid, and subscribe to Red Devil Weekly.
Cheers, G. Thank you so much for coming on, mate. Make sure you check out Red Devil Studio as well. Really good stuff on there. Thanks for calling in, G. Appreciate it. Appreciate your words of wisdom on the channel. Hopefully we get you on more often. Thanks for coming on, man.
Good. Take care, man. See you. Bye.
See you later. Right, that was G, by the way. Red Devil Studio. Make sure you check him out. Really good stuff on there. Issa has joined the party. Issa, how you doing? He says Greenwood is a brilliant player, but we shouldn't put pressure on the lad, considering the fact he's only 18. As long as he gets game time and the chance to showcase himself, that's the main thing. I agree, Issa. We shouldn't put that much pressure on Greenwood. He's playing unbelievably right now. The last thing we need to do is really overhype him and really, give him a hard time in that respect. But it's so good. It's so good to watch. The last call I'm going to take, because we've been on for nearly an hour and a half, which is amazing, but the last call I'm going to take is from Saeed, because I did promise he'd come on. So Saeed, please do call in if you're still watching, Saeed, and we'll get you on. And but guys, the stream's been amazing. 13 likes on the stream. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it. Make sure you keep hitting that like button if you haven't. Really appreciate that. But yeah, we'll get Saeed on. In fact, I'll just try and call Saeed now. Saeed, how you doing, man? Saeed, how you doing? How's it going? Yeah, I can hear you fine. Sorry, hold on. Okay. Now the stream can hear you. Saeed, welcome, Saeed. Thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate it. How's it going today?
Thank you. I'm going well. Thank you so much to answer me. Well, I'm also a big fan of Manchester United, and I have subscribed you since 2-3 weeks, and I watch your videos, your review on football matches. So I like it very, very much. Thank you, bro.
Thank you
for
so
having
much.
us.
Well, thank you so much, Saeed, for watching and supporting. It really does mean the world to me. Thank you so much, man.
You're welcome, bro.
No worries. I'm very, very happy to have you on. So, obviously, you know the score. Manchester United, very, very positive result. A great win. A great performance overall, in my opinion. What was your thoughts on the game yesterday?
Well, we played that actually very, very good, and I think Greenwood is playing very, very good. He's the best young player of us, and we shouldn't take him too pressure on the games, because he's still young and he can do a lots of things for us. So like Rashford, which he was like 17, or which he was like 18 or 19 when he came to direct from academy to our first like games. So he played also like almost like this, but I think Greenwood is more mature and more talented than Rashford. So we did actually very good, and I think we are playing very good these days, and I hope that we keep this games and we this playing, and let's see.
Yeah, listen, I think obviously we're going for the top four right now. We need to be consistent, and if we play like that every week, we should get it. I think right now as well, it's almost in our hands if you look at the fixtures. But yeah, we just got to hope that we that we get a few favours from the teams above us, and
Definitely consistently is very important, which we are doing right now, like since 16 games. So we are not beaten by any teams. So I'm very, very happy. I think Leicester and Chelsea should actually lose points, and then we're gonna get definitely top four. But I think Leicester gonna lose points, because he's gonna play with very strong teams, and then next matches like with Tottenham. I think with Arsenal, which Arsenal is doing right now good. I think they will definitely beat them. I'm gonna be Arsenal fan for the first time. Let's see.
yeah, I think
Because
we all are. Yeah.
I'm supporting like Man United since 2008. So you can't believe me when I see that Man United like scored a game. I can't actually stop my feeling. So I'm oh my God, my emotion, my feelings. So I'm a very big Man United fan, and I'm very happy that we have you on YouTube, which you like see every messages that the fans write you, and you can listen and you can talk with us. So I'm very happy.
Thank you, man. Yeah, well, that's why I believe in the fact that everyone's voice should be heard, and I love kind of reading out what everyone's saying and what everyone's saying about my opinions, either agreeing or disagreeing. It doesn't matter. But yeah, we're all Man United fans in the other day. We're all big Man United fans. We're all really passionate, and that's what makes it great. And so yeah, thank you for watching and supporting, and that's to everyone as well in the live chat and everyone who's watched the stream. But yeah, I want to ask you as well, Saeed. Defensively, obviously we conceded 2 goals yesterday, and there was a few kind of errors or mishaps or whatever. Firstly, I want to ask you about the penalty that we conceded. Did you think that it was a penalty? Do you think it was the right decision? And also, what do you make about the few kind of problems that some of our defenders have had, in particular Harry Maguire?
Well, I think that was like not 100% penalty, because the ball came and like touch his not arm, like it was very difficult to judge that penalty, and I don't think that that's 100% penalty. So the ball that Matic passed for Bailey, the Bailey could pass that ball with his head to Maguire, but he tried to touch with his arm. So it was, I think personally it was not 100% penalty. Even VAR was checked 3-4 times. So if I'm talking about our defenders, I think Maguire is doing good. We didn't concede in this season too much goals, but from speed, like Maguire is not too fast. So we need a defender behind Maguire who like give compliment to Maguire. Like we need Smalling. I don't know when Smalling come back. Could he be like our good defender behind Maguire? I'm not sure. And Bailey, Bailey's good. I mean, we should give him another chance.
Yeah.
I would say when I'm instead of Oli, I will definitely give Bailey another chance. He needs game, and definitely. I mean, if I'm talking about our defenders is good, but we make these kinds of mistakes. Like De Gea is not doing good right now. I mean, he saves many times our in our difficult times, but in since 2 seasons we watched De Gea that he do a lots of small mistake which he shouldn't do. So yeah, but our defenders, as I said, Maguire is good, and we need someone like Smalling. I'm not sure, or maybe someone we should buy who gave a compliment to Maguire. So I wouldn't buy a new defender next season. I wouldn't buy. Definitely, I wouldn't buy. I will give Bailey chance. I will give a Smalling chance, and let's see. And Lendolf, I will give Lendolf again chance, but I wouldn't buy like new defender. So we need like Sancho. We need attacker, and we need centre back, midfielder. So I wouldn't buy next season a new center mid defender.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. I think, especially with the likes of Eric Bailly, I think you're right. We do need to give him a bit more of a run of games, especially if you look back at before the lockdown when Eric Bailly first came in after his injury. He was playing some really good football. Everyone was praising him. Everything was good. We were keeping clean sheets against the likes of Chelsea, which we rarely do, especially at Stamford Bridge.
Yes.
And defensively, we were looking really solid. Obviously, that one little thing that happened yesterday, which again was dubious anyway. As you said, it wasn't. You couldn't really say that it was 100% a penalty. So I feel like just because of that, you can't say that he's not good enough for Man United or that he's a bad defender, because I think for the rest of the game he was fine. He was pretty good. So for me, I still think Maguire and Bailly is probably our best centre-back partnership. I think actually giving Eric Bailly more time might actually save money in the long run. As you said, we shouldn't really be looking to buy a really expensive centre-back to go next to Maguire. We should be looking to improve other parts of the pitch, like the forward line with the likes of Jadon Sancho or maybe even a Jack Grealish or something like that, and get us more squad depth in that area of the pitch, because even though our front three are playing really well right now, there has to be some depth there. So for me, I think you're absolutely right. I think we've spent a bit on defence last summer, obviously bringing in Maguire and Wan-Bissaka, and we need to give this defence more time. And I think with more time, it can become a really solid defence. And as G was saying before, we haven't actually conceded more than 2 goals in quite a few. I think only the Everton game last season, and that was before we had Wan-Bissaka and Maguire, that we conceded more than 2 goals in a game. So we've been very, very good, and I think that defensively we've been all right. So I don't think that's the biggest of our problems. Finally, I want to ask you, Saeed. Before we go, I want to ask you: do you think we're going to get top 4? Do you think it's on the cards, or do you think it's not as simple as that?
Well, it's a very difficult question to get a top 4. I'm trying to say that I'm a very confident, and I hope that we get top 4. But like yesterday, the Leicester City won his game, so I'm now. I mean, we can win every single of our games, but it doesn't depend in our hand. It depends on Leicester and Chelsea. They should lose. And even if Leicester win every single game, then we were gonna play with Leicester at the last match. And if we're gonna win against Leicester, then in spite of that, we're not gonna take top 4, because Leicester has more than goal distance than us. So it's a very difficult. But I hope that Leicester lose points like they're gonna play against Arsenal, and I hope they'll lose points. But as I said, I hope, like, I can't say that I'm 100% confident. I mean, we are playing. We're gonna take 3 points every single game, but it doesn't depend in our hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it depends to others. So let's see if they lose 1 point, like Chelsea. If Chelsea lose 1 point, like take 1 point from one game, then we're gonna have the same points with Chelsea. Then I think it's possible to take a top 4.
Yeah,
So,
I fully agree. Look, I think obviously that last day of the season where we play Leicester and Chelsea play Wolves is going to be absolutely massive. It's going to be huge. Hopefully it's wrapped up by then, but I think that last day of the season is going to really realistically decide all the European places. But I think we just have to focus on ourselves, and I agree.
Definitely. As I said, yeah. Yeah, we should concentrate on ourselves, and we should score in every single game a few more goals, like 2, 3, 4 goals, and then we could have the same goal distance than like Leicester City. And then at the last game, if we win against Leicester 1 goal or 2 goals, then the goal distance will take us to top 4. You know. Yeah, so we have to concentrate on ourselves, and we should score in every single game 3 or 4 goals if we could. So every single game we should use our chance and trying to score. That's it.
Exactly. I think it's a great point, because once you start focusing on other teams, then that's when you start to put loads of pressure on yourself, and you start to drop points. We just have to focus on our own job, get the jobs done in these games, play to the best of our ability, be as ruthless as we can in scoring goals, keep as many clean sheets as we can, and then hope for the best, and that's what we've got to do. But yeah, a very, very exciting times ahead. But Saeed, thank you so much for calling in, man. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'm very happy that you answered my call, and we're gonna support you, bro. I mean, I shared your videos for some of my friends, and they have subscribed to you, I mean. So thank you for having me in your show, and we're gonna talk maybe next time when you come to live.
Yeah, sure, 100%, mate. Definitely, you can come back on whenever you like. And thank you so much for sharing the video with your mates. And really appreciate the support, Saeed. Really appreciate the support. Thank you so much for coming on. And yeah, hopefully you have a good rest of your day. And hopefully we continue speaking really positively as we do. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on, Saeed. Appreciate it. And I'll see you soon.
Yeah. See you soon, bro. I appreciate it too. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
You too, Saeed. Thanks for the support, man. Yeah. Really appreciate it, man.
You're welcome back.
And there we go. Saeed on the call. Absolutely brilliant points from Saeed. Thank you for calling in, man. Really appreciate it. And I'm going to probably end it there, guys. 5 different callers today. That's absolutely fantastic. A record for the channel. We've never had 5 different callers. So thank you so much to everyone who has been watching. Make sure you check out on Twitch, True Football 2007, and also all the channels that were featured in this match review. United 5-2 winners over Bournemouth are such a positive game in so many ways. Mason Greenwood is a star. He is a star for the future, and I'm so looking forward to what he could bring to the club. But anyway, that's going to be me, guys. Thank you so much to everyone who's watched, liked, comment, everything. Means the world to me, your support. Thank you so much, and I will see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.